When my son Matthew offered to photograph me one Sunday afternoon, I thought nothing of it. At 42, I wasn't used to being in front of the camera anymore. Life had been busy, filled with long workdays, household responsibilities, and making sure everyone else had what they needed. Pictures of me were usually quick snapshots at family gatherings, sometimes blurry, sometimes with my hair out of place, never the kind you would think of framing. So when Matthew walked into the living room holding his camera, his expression focused and hopeful, and asked if he could take my picture, I laughed. "Why would you want to photograph me?" I asked, raising an eyebrow, half amused, half caught off guard. He shrugged, a little shy, but his voice steady. "Because you never let me. And I think you deserve to see yourself the way I do." I don't know what it was about that sentence, but it silenced me. My son was 21, growing into his own man, pursuing photography as both a passion and a side job. I had always supported him, cheering him on when he saved up for his first professional camera, when he spent nights watching tutorials and practicing with friends. But I had never been his subject. And now, the sincerity in his tone made me realize this wasn't just about practice. It was about something deeper. I hesitated, tugging at the sleeve of my worn sweater. "Matthew, I'm not photogenic. You know I've never liked pictures of myself." He smiled the way only he could, gentle yet firm. "That's because you haven't seen yourself through my lens." I sighed but finally agreed, figuring it would be a short little session that might make him happy. What I didn't expect was how much it would change me. He sat up near the living room window where the afternoon light filtered softly through the curtains. The space was simple: a couch, a small bookshelf, a few framed photos of family vacations. But in Matthew's hands, the room transformed. He directed me gently, asking me to sit on the chair, then turned slightly toward the light. "Relax your shoulders," he said kindly. "Just breathe." I tried to laugh it off, feeling awkward, but his encouragement put me at ease. He snapped the first shot, then another. The click of the camera echoed in the quiet room. "Mom, smile like you do when you're talking about Grandma," he said suddenly. The memory warmed me, and without realizing it, my smile softened, more genuine than the nervous grin I had forced earlier. The camera clicked again. He crouched low, adjusted the angle, moved closer, stepped back. Each time he spoke, it was filled with reassurance, not criticism. "That's good. That's the real you." At one point, he showed me the back of the camera and I froze. The woman staring back at me wasn't the one I usually saw in rushed bathroom mirrors or unflattering phone photos. She looked alive, graceful even, with eyes that carried both the weight and the strength of years gone by. My first instinct was to say, "That's not me." But Matthew placed his hand on my shoulder, steady and calm. "It is. That's you when you forget to doubt yourself." We continued for nearly an hour. He made me laugh by telling silly stories, captured me mid-laughter, then asked me to close my eyes and just breathe while he snapped a quiet portrait. At times, I forgot there was a camera at all. It was just him and me, sharing a moment that felt strangely intimate in the purest, most human sense. For the first time in years, I felt seen, not as someone's employee, not as a caretaker, not as a woman racing through life's endless tasks, but as myself. When we finished, he eagerly uploaded the photos to his laptop. We sat side by side, scrolling through them, and with each image, my throat tightened. There I was, vulnerable yet strong, tired yet glowing with a quiet resilience I had stopped noticing. Matthew looked at me proudly. "You should have these printed, Mom. These are you. The real you." Tears welled in my eyes. "Matthew, I had no idea you saw me like this." He turned to me, his voice steady. "I've always seen you like this. I just wanted you to finally see it too." The following days, I couldn't stop thinking about that moment. I printed a few of the photos and placed them on my dresser. Each morning, when I caught sight of them, I felt a little lighter, a little more accepting of myself. It wasn't vanity, it was recognition. Recognition of the fact that even in my flaws and weariness, there was beauty, and my son had helped me uncover it. But what surprised me most wasn't just how I saw myself. It was how Matthew had grown. Watching him work that day, so patient, so thoughtful, I realized he was no longer the boy who needed me to guide his every step. He was becoming a man with his own gifts to share, and I had the privilege of being on the receiving end of one of them. That afternoon had started as his request to practice photography, but it became a lesson for me. A reminder that sometimes our children show us parts of ourselves we've long forgotten. Weeks later, at a small family gathering, relatives noticed the new framed photos. My sister gasped, "These are stunning." "Who took them?" When I told her it was Matthew, pride swelled in my chest. He smiled shyly, brushing off the compliments, but I knew he had given me more than just pictures. He had given me a piece of myself back. And so, when I look at those photographs now, I don't just see an image. I see a moment, a connection, a truth. My son offered to photograph me, and in doing so, he gave me a gift I never knew I needed, the ability to see myself not through the lens of doubt, but through the eyes of love.